Hello there, and welcome to Quiet Wisdom. I'm so glad you found your way here. The sun has gone down. The noise of the day has faded. The demands of the world, the emails, the traffic, the conversations, are all behind you now. You have crossed the threshold into the night. Take a moment to get comfortable. Listen to the rain falling against the window. It is a heavy, steady rhythm, a curtain of water that separates you from everything else. Let your shoulders drop away from your ears. Let your jaw unclench. Let the tongue rest on the floor of your mouth. Allow your breathing to slow down, matching the rhythm of the rain. Tonight, we are going to disappear. We are traveling back to the misty mountains of Feudal Japan. But we are not going to the battlefield. We are going to the hidden villages of the Shinobi. We are going to learn the art of silence. We will walk through the cedar forests, sit by the charcoal fire in a hidden farmhouse, and learn how to be as still as a stone and as fluid as water. You do not need to be alert. You do not need to watch the shadows. The shadows are here to protect you. And just before we begin, if these quiet journeys into the past help you find rest, consider liking and subscribing to the channel. It helps us keep the lantern lit. Now, let's begin. Chapter 1. The Mountain and the Shadow. Tonight, we are going to disappear. We are leaving behind the noise of the modern world, the bright lights of the cities, and the constant demand to be seen and heard. We are traveling back to a time and a place where the greatest power was the power of invisibility. We are going to Japan, to the misty, cedar-covered mountains of the Iga province. It is the year 1560, the era of warring states, the Sengoku Jidai, while the great samurai armies march on the plains below, with their shouting generals and their colorful banners and their clashing armor. We are going up. We are going into the deep valleys where the fog never lifts. We are going to the hidden villages of the Shinobi, the ninja. But forget what you have seen in the movies. There are no explosions here. There are no black-clad supermen jumping over rooftops. There is only the silence of the forest and the discipline of the shadow. To understand the ninja, you must understand the geography. You are standing at the base of a mountain path. The air is cold and damp. It smells of wet earth, rotting leaves, and the sharp, resinous scent of the sugi, the Japanese cedar. The trees are massive. They rise up like pillars of a green cathedral, straight and tall. Their branches interlock high above, blocking out the sky. It is twilight. The sun has dipped behind the peaks, leaving the valley in a bath of blue-gray light. You begin to walk up the path. It is not a road. It is a deer trail, a thin ribbon of packed dirt winding through the ferns. The ground is soft. It is covered in layers of pine needles and moss. It absorbs the sound of your footsteps. You are entering the territory of the Iga no Mono, the men of Iga. These people are not soldiers. They are farmers. They are people of the earth. They live in a region so rugged, so isolated by mountains, that the armies of the shogun cannot reach them. They learned to defend themselves not with strength, but with nature. They learned to become the mountain. You reach a clearing. The mist is thicker here. It swirls around your ankles like a living thing. You see a figure standing by a tree. He is not wearing black silk. That is a theater costume. He is wearing the clothes of a peasant. Indigo-dyed cotton, azome. The color is a deep, dark blue. It is the color of the night sky. It is the color of the shadows. The fabric is rough. It is durable. It smells of the fermentation vat where the indigo was made. a sour, earthy smell that repels insects and snakes. He wears a jacket, loose trousers tied at the ankles, and straw sandals. This is the uniform of invisibility. If you saw him in a crowd, you would not look twice. You would see a farmer. You would see a nobody. And that is the secret. To be a ninja is to be nothing, to have no ego, to be a blank space in the memory of the enemy. He beckons you. You follow him deeper into the woods. We are going to learn the first art of the shinobi, the art of walking. In our world, we walk heavily. We strike the ground with our heels. Thud, thud, thud. We announce our presence with every step. But the ninja walks with the earth, not against it. This technique is called shinobi ashi, silent feet. The guide slows down. He demonstrates. He does not step heel first. He steps with the outer edge of his foot. He lowers his foot gently. He feels the ground before he commits his weight. Is there a dry twig? Is there a loose stone? He rolls his foot inward. He distributes his weight. Touch, roll, settle. It is a fluid motion. It looks like a cat walking. You try it. You slow your breathing. You focus your entire mind on the soles of your feet. You lift your leg. You extend it. You touch the moss. It is cool and spongy. You shift your weight. There is no sound, no snap, no crunch. You are moving, but you are creating no disturbance. This kind of walking is a form of meditation. You cannot think about tomorrow. You cannot think about dinner. You must be 100% present in the step. If your mind wanders, you will step on a leaf. Crackle. The silence will break. So you stay in the now. Step. Breathe. Step. Breathe. You move through the bamboo grove. The bamboo stalks are tall and green. They sway in the wind. Click, clack. Click, clack. The wind is your friend. The ninja calls it the cloak of sound. When the wind blows, you move. When the wind stops, you freeze. You use the noise of nature to mask the noise of the human. You become part of the rhythm of the forest. The light is fading fast now. The blue twilight is turning into the black of night. But you do not light a lantern. A light would give you away. A light would blind you to the shadows. You learn to use your night eyes. You do not look directly at things. You use your peripheral vision. The rods in your eyes are more sensitive to movement and shadow than the cones in the center. You soften your gaze. You let the forest resolve itself into shapes of gray and black. You see the outline of a rock, the silhouette of a tree. The path is a faint, lighter strip in the darkness. You are entering the world of the shadow. In the West, we fear the shadow. We think of it as a place of danger. But for the ninja, the shadow is a sanctuary. The shadow is a blanket. When you step into the shadow, you disappear. You are safe. The eyes of the enemy slide right over you. You feel a sense of comfort in the dark. It wraps around you like the indigo cotton. It hides you. You reach the village. It is not a fortress. It is a cluster of farmhouses with thatched roofs, nestled in a hidden valley. But these houses are not what they seem. This is Karakuri Yashiki, the trick house. We enter one of the houses. Inside, it looks normal. There is a sunken hearth, the irori, in the center of the floor. A kettle hangs over the charcoal fire. The smell of tea and wood smoke fills the room. But the walls are thick. The guide shows you the secrets. He pushes on a wooden panel in the wall. It spins. A revolving door. He lifts a floorboard. Underneath, there is a hidden space. A place to store the tools. A place to hide a scroll. Or a place to hide a person. The house is a machine for evasion. You sit by the fire. You warm your hands. The charcoal glows red. It is a quiet, smokeless heat. You look at the tools of the ninja. They are laid out on a mat. They are not weapons of war. They are tools of adaptation. The kunai. It looks like a heavy iron trowel. It is used for digging. It is used for prying open doors. It is used for climbing walls. It is a gardening tool that can save your life. The kaginawa, a grappling hook with a rope. The rope is made of women's hair or horsetail, woven tight. It is strong, light, and silent. The mizugumo, water spiders, wooden shoes for walking on marshy ground. These are tools of travel, tools of access. The ninja is not defined by the sword. He is defined by his ability to go where he is not supposed to go, to climb the wall, to cross the moat, to enter the locked room, and to do it without breaking the silence. The philosophy of the ninja is nin. The character for nin is made of two parts. The upper part means blade. The lower part means heart or spirit. Blade over heart. It implies endurance, perseverance, patience. It means suffering the blade without complaining. It means holding your spirit still, even when the metal is sharp. It is a philosophy of extreme calm. If you panic, you die. If you get angry, you make a mistake. You must be like water. Water takes the shape of the container. If you pour it into a cup, it becomes the cup. If you pour it into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. The ninja takes the shape of the situation. If he needs to be a merchant, he becomes a merchant. If he needs to be a monk, he becomes a monk. If he needs to be a shadow, he becomes a shadow. He has no fixed form. This formlessness is restful. You do not have to defend your ego. You do not have to be someone. You can just be. You watch the guide. He is sitting in cedar, kneeling by the fire. He is perfectly still. He is practicing mokuso, meditation. He is clearing his mind. He imagines his mind is a pond. The thoughts are ripples. He waits for the ripples to settle. He waits for the surface to become glass. You join him. You close your eyes. You imagine the dark forest outside, the trees standing guard, the mist filling the valley. You imagine the layers of the night, the layer of the stars, the layer of the clouds, the layer of the canopy, the layer of the undergrowth. You are deep at the bottom, safe in the hidden house. You think about the concept of invisibility. We spend our lives trying to be visible. We want attention. We want credit. But there is a relief in being invisible. When you are invisible, you are free. You can watch the world without the world watching you back. You are a ghost, a benevolent ghost. You observe, you listen, you understand. The fire pops gently. Snap. The warmth radiates from the hearth. It warms your face. It warms the rough cotton of your clothes. You feel the heaviness of the day leaving you. The climb up the mountain was hard. The discipline of the silent walk was exhausting. Now, your muscles are softening. You unroll your sleeping mat. It is made of woven straw. You lay it on the tatami floor. You have a wooden pillow, a small block of wood with a cushion on top. You lie down. You pull a heavy quilt over you. It is filled with cotton batting. It is dyed the same indigo blue as your clothes. You are buried in the blue dark. You listen to the sounds of the hidden village. There are no voices, no dogs barking. The discipline of silence extends to the animals. There is only the sound of the wind in the cedars. Whoosh, hush, whoosh, hush, and the sound of the water. There is a small stream running through the village, a mountain brook, burble, trickle. It is the sound of time flowing. The ninja knows that time is on his side. He knows how to wait. He can sit in a tree for 2 days, waiting for a guard to look away. He can lie in a ditch for a night, waiting for a gate to open. He has infinite patience. You absorb that patience. You do not need to sleep right now. You can just lie here. You can just wait for sleep to come. You do not chase sleep. You ambush it. You lie still. You breathe slowly. You blend into the bedding. You become part of the shadow in the corner of the room. The fire dies down to embers. A soft red glow. The shadows lengthen. You visualize the mountain around you. The massive roots of the trees gripping the rock. The moss covering the stones. The fog wrapping the peaks. You are inside the mountain. You are protected by the geography. No one can find you here. The map does not show this village. The road does not lead here. You are off the grid. You are hidden. You are safe. Your breath slows down. In, out, in, out. You are melting into the darkness. You are the shadow. You are the silence. The wind blows. The trees sway. The night holds you. Rest in the secret place. Rest in the art of disappearance. Sleep. Chapter 2. The Farmer and the Flute. The sun has risen over the mountains of Iga. The darkness of the forest has retreated, replaced by a wall of white morning mist. It hangs heavy over the valley, obscuring the peaks, turning the world into a soft watercolor painting of grey and green. You are awake. You have risen from the straw mat in the hidden house. You have folded the indigo quilt. You have washed your face in the cold water of the stream. Now, you step out into the day. But you do not step out as a warrior. You do not put on armor. You do not carry a long sword. You step out as a farmer. This is the greatest secret of the shinobi. Invisibility does not always mean hiding in the dark. Sometimes it means hiding in the light. It means being so ordinary, so mundane, that the eye slides right past you. You are wearing the clothes of the field, trousers made of hemp, dyed brown with walnut shells, a straw raincoat, a mino, tied around your shoulders to keep off the morning drizzle. It smells of dried grass and rain. You walk down the path toward the rice paddies. The mud of Iga is famous. It is thick, dark clay. It sucks at your sandals. Squish, pop, squish, pop. It is a grounding sound. It connects you to the earth. We are going to work the field. The ninja were not aristocrats. They were people of the soil. Their discipline came from the cycle of the harvest. You step into the paddy. The water comes up to your calves. It is cold. You reach for your tool. It is hanging from your belt. It is a piece of heavy black iron. It looks like a masonry trowel or a large leaf made of metal. It has a short handle wrapped in leather. This is the kunai. In the movies, the kunai is a throwing knife. But here, in the reality of 1560, it is a spade. It is a tool for digging up garlic. It is a tool for smashing open rocks. Hold it in your hand. Feel the weight of it. It is crude. It is not polished like a samurai sword. It is pitted and rough. It was hammered out by the village blacksmith to be indestructible. You kneel in the mud. You drive the kunai into the earth. Thunk. You twist. You pry up a root. Thunk. Twist. Lift. It is a slow, rhythmic labor. The repetition clears the mind. You are not thinking about espionage. You are thinking about the soil. But as you work, you understand the hidden nature of the tool. Because the kunai is heavy, it can be used as a hammer. Because it has edges, it can be used as a wedge to pry open a castle gate. Because it has a ring on the end of the handle, a rope can be tied to it to make a grappling hook. It is a key that opens the earth and opens doors. But to the passing samurai patrol, it is just a trowel. You are just a peasant digging for onions. They do not look at you. You are part of the scenery. You finish the row. You wipe the mud from the iron blade. You slide it back into your belt. You move to the next field, the rice field. Here, the tool is different. It is the kama. The sickle, a curved steel blade on a wooden handle. It is used for cutting rice stalks. You take the handle. The wood is smooth, polished by the oil of your hands. You grab a handful of rice stalks with your left hand. You swing the sickle with your right. Swish. Crunch. The blade slices through the dry stalks. It is a satisfying sound. A clean cut. Grab. Cut. Stack. Grab. Cut. Stack. The rhythm takes over. Your body moves automatically. This is the training. The motion of cutting rice is the same as the motion of fighting. It strengthens the wrist. It teaches distance. But it is peaceful. The mist dampens the sound. The world is a white room. You work until the sun burns through the fog. The air gets warmer. The smell of the wet rice straw rises up. A sweet, grassy scent. You take a break. You sit on the bank of the paddy. You drink water from a bamboo tube. It tastes of the wood. You look at your hands. They are dirty. They are the hands of a worker. This is the disguise. Hensojutsu, the art of disguise. The ninja had 7 standard disguises, the 7 ways of going. The merchant, carrying a pack of goods, allowed to travel anywhere. The monk, walking with a staff, chanting prayers. The mountain ascetic, the yamabushi, living in the wild. The sarugaku, the street performer, the acrobat, the ronin, the masterless samurai, the farmer, the one you are now. The komuso, the monk of emptiness. Let us explore the komuso. It is the most poetic of the disguises. Imagine you are changing roles. You leave the field. You go back to the farmhouse. You take off the muddy clothes. You put on a simple grey robe. And then you put on the hat. The tengai. It is a basket. A large woven basket made of reeds. It looks like a beehive. You put it over your head. It comes down to your shoulders. It completely covers your face. Inside the basket, it is dark. You can see out through the weave of the reeds, but no one can see in. You are anonymous. You have no face. You have no identity. You feel a sense of profound isolation inside the basket. It is a portable cell, a private room that you carry with you. You pick up the instrument, the shakuhachi. It is a flute, but it is not a delicate silver flute. It is made from the root end of a thick bamboo stalk. It is heavy. It is long. It has 5 holes. You hold it. It feels like a club. And indeed, it can be used as one. You bring it to your lips. You blow. The sound that comes out is not a melody. It is a breath. Whoo. It is a haunting, windy sound. It sounds like the wind blowing through a dead tree. It is the sound of Zen. The Komuso monks practiced susen, blowing Zen. They believed that playing the flute was a form of meditation. You stand on the porch of the farmhouse. You play a single note. You hold it. You let it waver. You let it fade into silence. The vibration travels through the bamboo into your fingers. It travels into your lips. It resonates in your skull. Woo! You are hidden inside the basket. You are making the sound of the void. You walk down the road. People step aside. They respect the monk. They do not ask who you are. They do not ask where you are going. You are a ghost passing through the world. This is the feeling of the ninja. To be present, but absent. To be there, but not there. You return to the house. You take off the basket. The light of the afternoon hits your face. You return to the workshop. We are going to make something now. We are going to engage in the slow craft of the makibishi, the caltrops. You sit on the wooden floor. You have a bowl of dried objects. They look like nuts. They are water chestnuts, hishi. They grow in the ponds. When they dry, they become hard as stone, and they have sharp, natural spikes. If you throw them on the ground, one spike always points up. This is the natural caltrop. You are drilling holes in them. You take a small hand drill, a wooden shaft with a string bow. Zzt. Zzt. You drill a tiny hole. You thread a string through it. You can tie them together. Or you can leave them loose. You run your hand through the bowl of dried nuts. They rattle. Click, clack, click. It is a dry, hollow sound, like dice. You are preparing a defense. If you are chased, you scatter these on the path behind you. They disappear into the dirt. They slow the enemy down. It is a passive weapon. It waits for the enemy to step on it. You also have iron ones. Tetsubishi, little pyramids of iron, forged by the blacksmith. 4 points. They are cold and heavy in your hand. They smell of oil. You pack them into a small leather pouch. You tie it to your belt. You feel prepared. The ninja is always prepared. He carries his world with him. You look at the other items in your kit. The gando, the candle lantern. It looks like a flashlight made of iron. It is a cylinder. Inside, a candle is mounted on a gimbal. A rotating ring, just like the compass on a ship. No matter how you turn the tube, the candle stays upright. You light it, flicker. A beam of yellow light shoots out of the tube. You close the shutter. The light vanishes. You open it just a crack. A thin slice of light. It is a tool for seeing without being seen. You polish the metal casing with a cloth. Rub, rub. The afternoon wears on. The rain begins to fall again. It patters on the thatched roof of the workshop. Tap, tap, tap. You feel safe inside. The tools are arranged. The harvest is gathered. The disguise is ready. You have spent the day in the slow rhythm of preparation. You have not fought. You have not run. You have simply existed. You have tended the earth. You have tended the tools. The philosophy of the ninja is patience. You can wait for days. You can wait for years. Like the bamboo. It grows slowly. It builds its roots. It waits for the spring. You are the bamboo. You sit back on your heels. You look out the open door at the rain. The mist is rolling back down the mountain. The trees are becoming silhouettes. The day is turning into the evening. You feel a heaviness in your shoulders. The good heaviness of physical work. The muscles in your back are loose. The tension in your neck is gone. You have been the farmer. You have been the monk. Now, you can just be the sleeper. You blow out the candle in the lantern. Puff. The smell of the smoke drifts past you. The room is grey. You listen to the rain. It is the ultimate camouflage. The rain covers everything. It covers sound. It covers scent. It covers tracks. When it rains, the ninja is safe. The world is asleep. You close your eyes. You imagine the rice fields, green squares in the mist. You imagine the mud, cool and deep. You imagine the basket hat, the dark space inside. You are inside the basket of your room. The walls protect you. The roof protects you. No one knows you are here. You are off the map. You are a secret. Let the anonymity wash over you. You do not have to be anyone tonight. You do not have to have a name. You are just a breathing presence in the dark. The flute plays a final, long note in your mind. Woo! It fades into the sound of the rain. Drift. Drift into the shadow. Drift into the silence. Rest. Sleep. Chapter 3. The Silent Dojo. The rain has returned. It is the constant companion of the Iga Mountains. It falls softly on the thatched roofs of the village, turning the straw a deep, saturated gold. The mist has descended from the peaks, wrapping the valley in a blanket of white silence. The work in the rice fields is done. The tools have been cleaned and put away. The disguise of the farmer has been shed. Now, we move to the interior. We move to the place of discipline. We are walking toward the largest building in the village. It is a long, low structure made of dark cedar wood. It sits on a foundation of stone. This is the dojo, the place of the way. You step up onto the wooden veranda. You leave your straw sandals at the door, aligning them perfectly, toes pointing outward, ready for the exit. This is the first rule of the dojo. Order. You slide the heavy wooden door open. It glides on a track that has been waxed with candle tallow. It moves silently. You step inside. The atmosphere changes instantly. The air here is dry and still. It smells of old wood, straw mats, and the faint, sweet scent of camphor incense. The room is vast. The floor is covered in tatami. Let us look at the floor. It is a landscape of geometry. Rectangular mats, 6 feet by 3 feet, fitted together like a puzzle. The surface of the tatami is woven soft rush grass. Igusa. You step onto it in your socks. It yields slightly. It is firm, yet forgiving. It feels organic. Before you can train, you must clean. This is the ritual of soji. In the West, we hire janitors. In the East, the student cleans the school. To clean the floor is to clean the mind. You take a damp cloth, a zokin. It is made of white cotton, folded into a neat square. You kneel at one end of the dojo. You place your hands on the cloth. You begin to push. You run down the length of the hall, pushing the cloth along the wood planking that surrounds the tatami. Push, slide. You reach the end. You turn. You run back. It is hard physical work. Your legs drive you. Your back is flat. But it is rhythmic. You watch the wood grain emerge as the dust is wiped away. The cedar turns a rich, dark red. It shines. You are polishing the space. You are removing the chaos of the outside world. When the floor is spotless, you stop. You rinse the cloth in a wooden bucket. The water turns gray. The dirt is gone. You put the bucket away. Now, the dojo is ready. And so are you. You walk to the center of the room. You sit down. Caesar. This is the traditional kneeling position. You fold your legs underneath you. You rest your buttocks on your heels. You place your hands on your thighs, palms down. You straighten your spine. You imagine a string pulling the top of your head toward the rafters. Your posture is a structure. It is a pyramid, wide at the base, pointed at the top. It is the most stable shape in geometry. You look at the kamisa, the spirit seat at the front of the room. It is a small alcove. There is a scroll hanging there. It has a single character written in bold black ink. Nin, endurance. There is a small arrangement of flowers, a rock, a candle. The candle is lit. The flame stands perfectly straight. There is no draught in this room. You stare at the flame. This is the training of the eyes. Metsuke. You do not blink. You do not look around. You focus your entire being on that single point of yellow light. The rest of the room fades away. The tatami mats blur. The walls disappear. There is only the flame. Your breathing slows down. You practice kokyu, the breath. The ninja breathes differently than other men. He breathes with his belly. You inhale through your nose. You do not expand your chest. You expand your abdomen. You fill the hara, the center of energy below your navel. Inhale. The belly rises. Pause. Exhale. The belly falls. It is a slow, hydraulic rhythm. You visualize the breath. You imagine it as white mist entering your nose, traveling down your spine, pooling in your stomach. Then you imagine it leaving, carrying away the tension. Gray smoke. White mist in. Gray smoke out. You do this for 20 minutes. Your legs begin to ache from the kneeling position. The circulation is cut off. Your feet go numb. This is part of the training. The pain is just a signal. It is just information. You do not react to it. You do not shift. You do not fidget. You accept the sensation. You observe it. My legs are asleep. That is all. It is a fact, not a problem. You are learning to detach your mind from your body. Now, we move to the hands. The ninja practiced a series of hand gestures called kuji-in, the 9 cuts. These are not magic spells in the fairy tale sense. They are triggers. They are physical movements designed to snap the brain into a specific state of focus. You lift your hands. You interlace your fingers. Rin. Power. You extend your middle fingers. You curl the others. You press your palms together. You feel the pressure of skin against skin, the warmth of your own hands. You focus on strength. Pyo. Energy. You change the grip. You extend the index fingers. You feel the stretch in your tendons. You focus on flow. Toe. Harmony. You weave your fingers together inside the palms. You focus on balance. You move through the 9 positions. It is a dance of the fingers. Twist, lock, press. Twist, lock, press. The movement is precise. It requires total coordination. It forces the left brain and the right brain to work together. The sound of your skin rubbing against itself is a dry, soft whisper. Swish. You repeat the sequence, faster, then slower. It becomes muscle memory. Your hands are forming shapes that have been used for 1,000 years. You are connecting to the lineage of the shadow. You lower your hands. You place them back on your knees. The room is getting darker. The sun has set outside. The paper screens of the shoji windows have turned a deep twilight blue. The candle flame seems brighter now. We are going to practice listening. The guide, the master, enters the room. He moves so silently you do not hear him until he is sitting beside you. He places a small box on the floor. He opens it. He takes out a needle, a simple steel sewing needle. He holds it up. Listen, he whispers. He drops the needle. It falls through the air. Ting. It hits the wooden floor. It is a tiny sound. In a busy city, you would never hear it. But here, in the silence of the dojo, it sounds like a bell. He picks it up. He drops it again. Ting. He moves to the corner of the room, 20 feet away. He drops it again. Ting. You can still hear it. Your ears are opening up. You are tuning out the static of your own thoughts and tuning into the frequency of the room. You realize that silence is not empty. It is full of texture. You can hear the oil sizzling in the lamp wick. Shh. You can hear the settling of the cedar beams. Creak. You can hear the digestion of the woodworm deep in the floor. You expand your hearing further. Outside the dojo, you hear the rain dripping from the eaves. Plip, plip. You hear the wind moving through the pine needles. You hear the stream rushing over the stones. You are building a map of the world using only sound. This is the radar of the ninja. If a twig snaps in the forest, you will know. If a footstep crushes a leaf, you will know. You feel a sense of expansion. Your awareness is growing larger than your body. The master stands up. He walks to the wall. He takes down a wooden practice sword. A bokken. It is made of white oak. It is heavy, solid, and smooth. He hands it to you. You stand up. Your legs tingle as the blood returns. You hold the sword. You do not swing it wildly. You hold it in the basic stance. Seigen, the sword pointing at the throat of an invisible opponent. You hold it still. This is the hardest exercise of all. Holding. You must hold the sword perfectly motionless. Your shoulders begin to burn. Your arms begin to shake. Gravity is pulling the heavy oak down, but you do not let it drop. You breathe into the burn. You send the breath to your shoulders. You imagine your arms are made of stone. You imagine the sword is part of your arm. The shaking stops. You enter a state of equilibrium. You are a statue. The master walks around you. He corrects your posture. He pushes on your shoulder. You do not move. You are rooted to the floor. You hold the pose for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. The time stretches out. You stop feeling the weight of the sword. You stop feeling the passage of time. You are just a shape in the room. The master takes the sword from you. Enough, he says. You lower your arms. They feel light, floating upwards as the weight is released. You feel a rush of warmth. You bow to the master. You bow to the sword. You bow to the shrine. The training is over. The discipline of the body is finished. You sit back down on the tatami. The room is almost completely dark now. The candle is a nub of wax. The master blows it out. Puff. The smoke curls up. The smell of the extinguished wick fills the room. You are sitting in the dark, but it is a familiar dark. You have spent hours here. You know the space. You know where the walls are. You know where the door is. You feel safe. The dojo is a container for your spirit. It has held you while you worked. Now it holds you while you rest. You lie down on the tatami. You do not need a pillow. The straw mat is enough. You stare up at the ceiling. You can't see the rafters, but you know they are there. Heavy beams of timber, interlocking, holding up the roof. You listen to the rain again. It has picked up. It is a steady drum roll on the roof. Drum, drum, drum. It creates a shell of sound. Inside the shell, there is peace. You think about the needle dropping. Ting. You think about the flame standing straight. You think about the oak sword. You are all of these things. You are sharp. You are bright. You are strong. But now, you are soft. You let your muscles dissolve. The tension of the pose drains out of you. It flows down into the straw mats. It flows into the foundation stones. It flows into the earth. You are empty. You are weightless. You are invisible. The darkness of the dojo wraps around you. You are hidden in the heart of the mountain. No one knows you are here. The secret is kept. Rest in the discipline. Rest in the silence. Sleep. Chapter 4. The Apothecary and the Powder. We leave the polished wooden floor of the dojo behind. The echo of the falling needle has faded from our ears. The physical discipline of the body is complete, but the discipline of the ninja requires more than just muscle and bone. It requires knowledge. It requires chemistry. We are walking deeper into the hidden village of Iga. The rain has softened to a fine mist that clings to your skin like a cool, damp cloth. The moon is hidden behind thick clouds, making the path almost invisible. But you know the way. You feel the change in the ground beneath your feet, transitioning from the packed earth of the training grounds to a path lined with river stones. We are approaching a small, separate hut, standing near the edge of the stream. It looks ordinary from the outside. A thatched roof, weathered gray by the seasons. Mud walls. But as you get closer, you notice the smell. It is a complex, layered scent. It does not smell like a farm. It smells like a deep forest, but concentrated. It smells of dried roots, bitter bark, sulfur, and charcoal. This is the kusuriya, the apothecary, the laboratory of the shinobi. You slide open the door. It moves on silent, well-oiled tracks. Inside, the room is warm. A small clay stove, a kamado, is burning in the corner, keeping the moisture out. The walls are lined from floor to ceiling with shelves, and on the shelves sit hundreds of containers. Ceramic jars with wooden lids, gourd bottles sealed with wax, bundles of dried plants hanging from the rafters. This is the library of ingredients. The ninja were not just spies. They were chemists. They were botanists. To survive in the wild, to remain unseen, to heal themselves, they had to understand the secrets of nature. You walk to the workbench. It is a thick slab of kayaki wood, stained dark by centuries of spills and mixtures. On the bench sits the most important tool of the chemist, the mortar and pestle. The mortar is made of stone, heavy granite. The pestle is wood, smooth and hard. Tonight, we are going to make kikatsugan. This is the legendary starvation pill. It is not a pill to cause starvation. It is a pill to prevent it. It is a high-energy ration, compressed into a tiny sphere, designed to keep a ninja alive while he hides in an attic or under a floorboard for days. We begin the process. You reach for the jars. You open them one by one. The lids make a soft pop as the seal breaks. First, ginseng, the root of life. It is dried and shriveled. It looks like a little wooden man. You break off a piece. It snaps with a dry crack. You drop it into the mortar. Next, buckwheat flour, a fine grey powder. It provides the substance. Next, dried yam. It is sweet and hard. You begin to grind. You hold the pestle firmly. You press it down into the stone bowl. You rotate it. Grind, crunch, grind, crunch. The sound is gritty. It is the sound of hard matter being broken down into dust. You have to work slowly. If you grind too fast, the friction creates heat, and the heat destroys the medicinal properties. You must be patient. You grind the ginseng until it is a fine powder. The smell rises up. It is earthy and bitter. Now you add the binder. Honey. You take a jar of honey. It is thick and amber-colored. You dip a wooden spoon into it. The honey trails off the spoon in a slow golden ribbon. You mix the honey into the powder. Stir, fold, stir, fold. The texture changes. It becomes a paste. It becomes heavy and sticky. You take a small amount of the paste. You roll it between your palms. Roll, roll, roll. You shape it into a perfect sphere, the size of a marble. You place it on a wooden tray to dry. You make another, and another. The repetition is soothing. Your hands are busy, but your mind is free. You are creating sustenance. You are creating survival. When these pills dry, they will be hard as rock. You can carry a bag of them in your belt. They are the fuel of the shadow. But the ninja does not just preserve life. He also manipulates the environment. We move to the other side of the workbench, the darker side. We are going to make kayaku, fire medicine. This is the Japanese word for gunpowder. The recipe is secret. It is forbidden to write it down. It is passed from master to student by whisper. But we are safe here. We can observe. There are 3 ingredients, the holy trinity of fire. First, charcoal. The ninja makes his own charcoal. He burns pine wood or willow wood in a kiln until it is black carbon. You take a piece of charcoal. It is light, almost weightless. It stains your fingers black. You put it in a clean mortar. You crush it, crunch, puff. It turns into a black dust. It floats in the air. It smells of old campfires. Second, sulfur. It comes from the volcanoes. Japan is a land of fire. The yellow rocks are gathered from the fumaroles on the mountain peaks. It smells sharp, like rotten eggs, but cleaner. A mineral smell. You grind the yellow rock into a fine yellow flour. Third, saltpeter, potassium nitrate. This is the oxidizer, the breath of the fire. You measure them out. The ratio must be precise. If you get it wrong, it will not burn. If you get it wrong, it might burn too fast. You use a small brass scale. You place the black dust on one side. You place the white crystals on the other. Tink, balance. You mix them together. You do not grind them now. Grinding mixed gunpowder is dangerous. It could spark. You mix them gently with a wooden spatula. Black, yellow, white. They merge into a uniform grey powder. This is black powder. It is sleeping energy. It is a storm trapped in a bowl. The ninja does not use this for guns. Guns are loud. Guns are clumsy. The ninja uses this for metsubushi. the eye closer, smoke bombs, flash powder. You take a hollow eggshell, an egg that has been carefully blown out, leaving only the fragile calcium casing. You fill the egg with the grey powder. You add iron filings. You add pepper. You seal the hole with wax. It is a fragile weapon. If you throw it on the ground, it shatters. The powder ignites. A cloud of smoke and dust explodes, blinding the enemy, allowing you to vanish. You hold the egg in your hand. It is light. It is delicate. It represents the fragility of the moment. 1 second you are there. The next, you are gone. You place the egg in a padded box lined with cotton. You wipe your hands on a cloth. You clean the carbon from your skin. The work of the chemist is precise. It requires a steady hand and a calm heart. You look around the room at the other jars. Wolfsbane, a poison, toad oil, for healing cuts. Dried cricket, for silence? No, for protein. Every object in this room has a purpose. Nothing is decorative. The philosophy of the ninja is utility. If it works, it is good. If it is heavy or useless, it is discarded. You feel a sense of order in this room. The jars are labeled with secret symbols. The shelves are dust-free. The rain outside picks up intensity. Drum, drum, drum. It beats on the thatched roof. It runs down the mud walls. But inside, it is dry. The fire in the stove is warm. You sit on a stool. You watch the fire. You think about the transformation you have witnessed. Roots becoming food, wood becoming dust, dust becoming fire. It is alchemy. It is the changing of forms. You are changing forms too. You are moving from the state of wakefulness to the state of sleep. Your body is heavy. The day of training has worn you down. The smell of the herbs is soporific. The lavender and the mugwort hanging from the ceiling release their oils into the warm air. It acts like a sedative. You lean your head against the wooden shelf. You watch the shadows flicker on the wall. They look like mountains. They look like clouds. You think about the secret. The ninja is a keeper of secrets. He holds knowledge that others do not have. This room is a secret. It does not exist on any map. You are hiding in the secret. You feel a sense of privacy that is absolute. No one knows you are here. No one can call you. You are off duty. You close your eyes. You imagine the powders in the jars. Millions of tiny grains. Resting. The charcoal is resting. The sulfur is resting. The salt is resting. They are stable. They are not reacting. You are stable. Your breath is slow and even. In. Out. You imagine the smoke from the stove drifting up, filling the room with a soft grey haze. It blurs the edges of the world. The workbench softens. The shelves soften. You are floating in the haze. You are lighter than the charcoal dust. You drift up through the thatched roof into the rainy night. But you are not wet. You are a shadow. You float over the village. You see the roofs. You see the stream. It is all quiet. The chemistry of the night is working. The darkness is mixing with the silence to create sleep. You let go. You are the eggshell, fragile and safe in the box. You are the root, dried and preserved. You are the stone. Rest in the laboratory. Rest in the mixture. Sleep. Chapter 5. The castle and the rafter. The jars in the apothecary have been sealed. The smell of sulfur and dried herbs has faded into the night air. We are leaving the hidden village in the valley. We are moving out of the mountains of Iga, descending the deer trails, crossing the rivers in the dark, moving silently toward the plains. We are going to a castle. But we are not going as a guest. We are not walking through the main gate with the samurai, bowing to the guards, and removing our sandals on the polished veranda. We are going as a shadow. The mission tonight is not assassination. It is not sabotage. It is the purest form of the ninja's art. Observation. To see without being seen. To hear without being heard. To exist in a space where you are not supposed to exist. We arrive at the perimeter of the castle. It is a massive fortress, sitting on a hill like a sleeping dragon. The stone walls, the ishigaki, rise up out of the moat, curving upwards into the darkness. They are wet with the night rain. They glisten like scales. Above the walls, the white plaster of the keep glows faintly in the starlight. The tiered roofs curve up at the corners. It looks impenetrable. But to the ninja, a wall is not a barrier. It is a ladder. You are standing at the edge of the moat. The water is dark and still, covered in a layer of duckweed. You do not swim across. That would make a splash. That would leave a trail. You use the mizugumo, the water spiders. You take them from your pack. They are wooden discs, divided into 4 segments, tied together with rope. You strap them to your feet. You step onto the water. They displace your weight. They float. You slide across the surface of the moat, using a bamboo pole to push yourself. You are walking on water. You reach the stone wall. You stow the shoes. Now the climb. You put on the shuko. These are iron claws, bands of leather that strap around your hands, with sharp curved spikes on the palms. You reach up. You find a crevice between the massive granite boulders. Clink. The iron claw bites into the stone. You pull. You find a foothold. You climb slowly. You are an insect moving up the face of a cliff. You press your body flat against the cold, wet stone. You can smell the moss growing in the cracks. You can feel the chill of the rock through your clothes. You do not rush. You time your movements with the wind. When the wind howls, you move. When the wind dies, you freeze. You reach the top of the wall. You pull yourself over the parapet. You are inside the compound. The castle grounds are a maze of gravel paths and pine trees. Guards are walking the perimeter, carrying paper lanterns. You see the balls of yellow light bobbing in the dark. You wait in the shadow of a gatehouse. You merge with the darkness. The indigo dye of your clothes absorbs the remaining light. You watch the pattern of the guards. Left, right, pause. Left, right, pause. It is a rhythm, and every rhythm has a gap. You slip through the gap. You are heading for the main keep, the tenshu. You reach the wooden foundation. You crawl underneath the veranda. The smell here is dry and dusty. It smells of old earth and spider webs. You are in the crawl space, surrounded by the massive wooden pillars that hold up the castle. You find a spot where the wood is loose. You work a panel free. You slip inside. You are in the corridors. But you cannot walk on the floor. The floors are uguisubari, the nightingale floors. We know them well. They are designed to sing. They are designed to betray you. So you do not walk on them. You walk on the beams. You climb up the corner of the hallway, using your claws. You pull yourself up into the rafters. You are now in the tenjo ura, the ceiling back, the attic space between the ceiling of the room below and the floor of the room above. This is the domain of the ninja. It is a narrow, cramped world. It is a forest of timber. Massive beams of cedar and cypress, interlocking in complex joinery, traverse the darkness. You crawl along a beam. It is covered in dust, decades of grey, soft dust. It coats your hands. It muffles your movements. You move on your hands and knees, balancing on the beam which is only 6 inches wide. Below you, through the thin wooden slats of the ceiling, you can see the strips of light coming from the rooms below. You are walking on the skeleton of the house. You find your position. You are directly above the main audience chamber. You stop. This is the art of sitting. You settle yourself on the beam. You cross your legs. You wrap your arms around your chest to keep warm. It is drafty up here. The wind whistles through the gaps in the roof tiles. But you are used to the cold. You have the starvation pill in your belly, releasing its energy. You have the wool beneath your armor. You look down. There is a small gap in the ceiling boards, a knothole, or a crack between the planks. You put your eye to the hole. You can see the room below. It is brightly lit with candles. The golden screens, the fusuma, are glowing. The tatami mats are yellow and clean. You see the daimyo, the lord. He is sitting in his robes. He is talking to his generals. You can hear their voices. They drift up to you. The harvest is poor this year. The Western clan is moving. You listen, you memorize, but mostly you wait. The meeting drags on. An hour, 2 hours. Your legs begin to cramp. The beam cuts into your ankles. This is the test of nin, endurance. You do not shift your weight. If you shift, the beam might creak. A flake of dust might fall into the tea of the lord below. You must be a stone. You use a technique called kitsune gakure, hiding like a fox. You lower your heart rate. You breathe so shallowly that a feather held to your lips would not move. You detach your mind from your body. You observe the pain in your legs as if it belongs to someone else. The legs hurt, you think. That is interesting. But you do not react. You become part of the architecture. You are just another wooden beam in the roof. You are just a shadow cast by a rafter. The meeting ends below. The generals bow and leave. The daimyo retires to his sleeping quarters. The servants come in. They snuff the candles. Puff, puff, puff. The room below goes dark. Now, you are alone in the silence. The castle sleeps, but you do not leave yet. It is not safe. The guards are still alert. You must wait for the hour of the rat, midnight, or the hour of the ox. 2 a.m., the time of deepest sleep. You settle in for the long wait. It is quiet in the attic. You hear the sounds of the building settling, creak, pop, the heavy timbers expanding and contracting with the temperature change. You hear the scuttling of a mouse across the floorboards. Scritch, scritch. It does not fear you. You are as still as the wood. You feel a sense of profound safety here in the rafters. It is a paradox. You are in the center of the enemy's stronghold. You are surrounded by 1,000 swords. If they found you, you would be dead in seconds. But they cannot find you, because they do not look up. People live in the horizontal. They look left, they look right. They rarely look at the ceiling. You occupy the blind spot of the human race. You are hidden in plain sight. This knowledge gives you a feeling of power, but it is a calm, quiet power. It is the power of the secret. You wrap your dark cloak around you. You pull your hood up. You become a shapeless lump in the darkness. You think about the construction of this roof. The tiles above you, the kawara, are made of heavy gray clay. They are overlapped to shed the rain. You can hear the rain starting again outside. Tap, tap, tap. It hits the tiles just inches above your head. You are sandwiched between the roof and the ceiling. A thin slice of space. It feels cozy, like a child hiding in a cupboard. The smell of the dust is dry and old. It smells of history. You close your eyes. You do not sleep, but you rest. You enter a state of active rest. Your body is limp, but your ears are open. You visualize the layout of the castle in your mind. The maze of corridors, the gates, the walls. You have solved the puzzle. You have found the way in. You know the way out. There is no anxiety about the escape. You have the rope, you have the hook, you have the skills. You just have to wait for the time. The waiting becomes a meditation. You count your breaths. 1, 2, 3. You visualize the breath filling your body like water filling a jar, cool and clear. You visualize the tension draining out of your toes. You are floating on the beam. The darkness of the attic is absolute. You cannot see your own hand in front of your face. This is the void. You are comfortable in the void. The ninja knows that the darkness is not empty. It is full of potential. In the light, you are defined. You are a name. You are a face. In the dark, you are infinite. You can be anything. You are the wind in the eaves. You are the rain on the roof. The hours pass. The bell in the courtyard tolls. Gong. It is the hour of the ox. The guards will be changing shifts. They will be tired. Their eyes will be heavy. It is time to move. But you move slowly. You uncross your legs. You stretch them out one by one. You rotate your ankles to get the blood flowing. You do not stand up yet. You stay low. You crawl along the beam. You reach the exterior wall. You find the ventilation grate. A wooden lattice. You work it loose. You feel the cold, fresh air of the night hitting your face. It smells of wet pine and freedom. You look out. The courtyard is empty. The lantern of the guard has moved away around the corner. You squeeze through the opening. You are on the roof. The tiles are slippery with rain. But your sandals are made of woven straw, waraji. They grip the wet clay. You crouch on the ridge of the roof. You look out over the castle complex. It is a sea of dark roofs floating in the mist. You feel a sense of release. You have spent hours in the cramped, dusty box of the attic. Now, the sky opens up above you. The clouds are breaking. A few stars are visible. You climb down the side of the building. You use the gutters. You use the ivy growing on the wall. You reach the ground. You merge with the shadows of the garden. You move toward the wall. You throw your grappling hook. The rope tightens. You climb. You are over. You are out. You cross the moat on your water spiders. You reach the forest. You walk into the trees. The castle looms behind you, a silent mountain of white walls. It sleeps on. It does not know you are there. It does not know you are leaving. You have stolen the secret. You have stolen the knowledge. And you have left no trace. You walk back up the deer trail, back toward the mountains of Iga. The adrenaline fades. The peace returns. You have done the work. The mission is accomplished. Now, you can return to the self. You can stop being a shadow. You can be a man again. You think about the hidden house waiting for you. The quilt, the fire. The anticipation of sleep is sweet. You have earned the rest. Your body is tired. Your muscles are drained. But your mind is clear. You walk through the forest. The trees protect you. The mist hides you. You are the phantom of the woods, safe, unseen, silent. Let the image of the dark attic fade. Let the dust settle. You are back in your own bed now. You are safe in your own room. The ceiling above you is solid. The roof is strong. You are hidden from the world. No one is watching you. No one needs you. You can stop observing. You can close your inner eye. The watch is ended. Drift into the darkness. Drift into the safety of the secret place. Rest. Sleep. Chapter 5. The Castle and the Rafter. The jars in the apothecary have been sealed. The smell of sulfur and dried herbs has faded into the night air. We are leaving the hidden village in the valley. We are moving out of the mountains of Iga, descending the deer trails, crossing the rivers in the dark, moving silently toward the plains. We are going to a castle. But we are not going as a guest. We are not walking through the main gate with the samurai, bowing to the guards, and removing our sandals on the polished veranda. We are going as a shadow. The mission tonight is not assassination. It is not sabotage. It is the purest form of the ninja's art. Observation. To see without being seen. To hear without being heard. To exist in a space where you are not supposed to exist. We arrive at the perimeter of the castle. It is a massive fortress, sitting on a hill like a sleeping dragon. The stone walls, the ishigaki, rise up out of the moat, curving upwards into the darkness. They are wet with the night rain. They glisten like scales. Above the walls, the white plaster of the keep glows faintly in the starlight. The tiered roofs curve up at the corners. It looks impenetrable. But to the ninja, a wall is not a barrier. It is a ladder. You are standing at the edge of the moat. The water is dark and still, covered in a layer of duckweed. You do not swim across. That would make a splash. That would leave a trail. You use the mizugumo, the water spiders. You take them from your pack. They are wooden discs, divided into 4 segments, tied together with rope. You strap them to your feet. You step onto the water. They displace your weight. They float. You slide across the surface of the moat, using a bamboo pole to push yourself. You are walking on water. You reach the stone wall. You stow the shoes. Now, the climb. You put on the shuko. These are iron claws, bands of leather that strap around your hands, with sharp, curved spikes on the palms. You reach up. You find a crevice between the massive granite boulders. Clink. The iron claw bites into the stone. You pull. You find a foothold. You climb slowly. You are an insect moving up the face of a cliff. You press your body flat against the cold, wet stone. You can smell the moss growing in the cracks. You can feel the chill of the rock through your clothes. You do not rush. You time your movements with the wind. When the wind howls, you move. When the wind dies, you freeze. You reach the top of the wall. You pull yourself over the parapet. You are inside the compound. The castle grounds are a maze of gravel paths and pine trees. Guards are walking the perimeter, carrying paper lanterns. You see the balls of yellow light bobbing in the dark. You wait in the shadow of a gatehouse. You merge with the darkness. The indigo dye of your clothes absorbs the remaining light. You watch the pattern of the guards. Left, right, pause. Left, right, pause. It is a rhythm, and every rhythm has a gap. You slip through the gap. You are heading for the main keep, the tenshu. You reach the wooden foundation. You crawl underneath the veranda. The smell here is dry and dusty. It smells of old earth and spider webs. You are in the crawl space, surrounded by the massive wooden pillars that hold up the castle. You find a spot where the wood is loose. You work a panel free. You slip inside. You are in the corridors. But you cannot walk on the floor. The floors are uguisubari, the nightingale floors. We know them well. They are designed to sing. They are designed to betray you. So you do not walk on them. You walk on the beams. You climb up the corner of the hallway, using your claws. You pull yourself up into the rafters. You are now in the tenjo ura, the ceiling back, the attic space between the ceiling of the room below and the floor of the room above. This is the domain of the ninja. It is a narrow, cramped world. It is a forest of timber. Massive beams of cedar and cypress, interlocking in complex joinery, traverse the darkness. You crawl along a beam. It is covered in dust, decades of grey, soft dust. It coats your hands. It muffles your movements. You move on your hands and knees, balancing on the beam, which is only 6 inches wide. Below you, Through the thin wooden slats of the ceiling, you can see the strips of light coming from the rooms below. You are walking on the skeleton of the house. You find your position. You are directly above the main audience chamber. You stop. This is the art of sitting. You settle yourself on the beam. You cross your legs. You wrap your arms around your chest to keep warm. It is drafty up here. The wind whistles through the gaps in the roof tiles. But you are used to the cold. You have the starvation pill in your belly, releasing its energy. You have the wool beneath your armor. You look down. There is a small gap in the ceiling boards, a knothole, or a crack between the planks. You put your eye to the hole. You can see the room below. It is brightly lit with candles. The golden screens, the fusuma, are glowing. The tatami mats are yellow and clean. You see the daimyo, the lord. He is sitting in his robes. He is talking to his generals. You can hear their voices. They drift up to you. The harvest is poor this year. The Western clan is moving. You listen. You memorize. But mostly you wait. The meeting drags on. An hour, 2 hours. Your legs begin to cramp. The beam cuts into your ankles. This is the test of nin, endurance. You do not shift your weight. If you shift, the beam might creak. A flake of dust might fall into the tea of the lord below. You must be a stone. You use a technique called kitsune gakure, hiding like a fox. You lower your heart rate. You breathe so shallowly that a feather held to your lips would not move. You detach your mind from your body. You observe the pain in your legs as if it belongs to someone else. The legs hurt, you think. That is interesting. But you do not react. You become part of the architecture. You are just another wooden beam in the roof. You are just a shadow cast by a rafter. The meeting ends below. The generals bow and leave. The daimyo retires to his sleeping quarters. The servants come in. They snuff the candles. Puff, puff, puff. The room below goes dark. Now you are alone in the silence. The castle sleeps, but you do not leave yet. It is not safe. The guards are still alert. You must wait for the hour of the rat, midnight, or the hour of the ox. 2:00 a.m., the time of deepest sleep. You settle in for the long wait. It is quiet in the attic. You hear the sounds of the building settling. Creak, pop, the heavy timbers expanding and contracting with the temperature change. You hear the scuttling of a mouse across the floorboards. Scritch, scritch. It does not fear you. You are as still as the wood. You feel a sense of profound safety here in the rafters. It is a paradox. You are in the center of the enemy's stronghold. You are surrounded by 1,000 swords. If they found you, you would be dead in seconds. But they cannot find you, because they do not look up. People live in the horizontal. They look left, they look right. They rarely look at the ceiling. You occupy the blind spot of the human race. You are hidden in plain sight. This knowledge gives you a feeling of power, but it is a calm, quiet power. It is the power of the secret. You wrap your dark cloak around you. You pull your hood up. You become a shapeless lump in the darkness. You think about the construction of this roof. The tiles above you, the kawara, are made of heavy gray clay. They are overlapped to shed the rain. You can hear the rain starting again outside. Tap, tap, tap. It hits the tiles just inches above your head. You are sandwiched between the roof and the ceiling, a thin slice of space. It feels cozy, like a child hiding in a cupboard. The smell of the dust is dry and old. It smells of history. You close your eyes. You do not sleep, but you rest. You enter a state of active rest. Your body is limp, but your ears are open. You visualize the layout of the castle in your mind, the maze of corridors, the gates, the walls. You have solved the puzzle. You have found the way in. You know the way out. There is no anxiety about the escape. You have the rope. You have the hook. You have the skills. You just have to wait for the time. The waiting becomes a meditation. You count your breaths. 1, 2, 3. You visualize the breath filling your body like water filling a jar, cool and clear. You visualize the tension draining out of your toes. You are floating on the beam. The darkness of the attic is absolute. You cannot see your own hand in front of your face. This is the void. You are comfortable in the void. The ninja knows that the darkness is not empty. It is full of potential. In the light, you are defined. You are a name. You are a face. In the dark, you are infinite. You can be anything. You are the wind in the eaves. You are the rain on the roof. The hours pass. The bell in the courtyard tolls. Gong. It is the hour of the ox. The guards will be changing shifts. They will be tired. Their eyes will be heavy. It is time to move. But you move slowly. You uncross your legs. You stretch them out one by one. You rotate your ankles to get the blood flowing. You do not stand up yet. You stay low. You crawl along the beam. You reach the exterior wall. You find the ventilation grate, a wooden lattice. You work it loose. You feel the cold, fresh air of the night hitting your face. It smells of wet pine and freedom. You look out. The courtyard is empty. The lantern of the guard has moved away around the corner. You squeeze through the opening. You are on the roof. The tiles are slippery with rain, but your sandals are made of woven straw, waraji. They grip the wet clay. You crouch on the ridge of the roof. You look out over the castle complex. It is a sea of dark roofs, floating in the mist. You feel a sense of release. You have spent hours in the cramped, dusty box of the attic. Now, the sky opens up above you. The clouds are breaking. A few stars are visible. You climb down the side of the building. You use the gutters. You use the ivy growing on the wall. You reach the ground. You merge with the shadows of the garden. You move toward the wall. You throw your grappling hook. The rope tightens. You climb. You are over. You are out. You cross the moat on your water spiders. You reach the forest. You walk into the trees. The castle looms behind you, a silent mountain of white walls. It sleeps on. It does not know you were there. It does not know you are leaving. You have stolen the secret. You have stolen the knowledge, and you have left no trace. You walk back up the deer trail, back toward the mountains of Iga. The adrenaline fades. The peace returns. You have done the work. The mission is accomplished. Now, you can return to the self. You can stop being a shadow. You can be a man again. You think about the hidden house waiting for you, the quilt, the fire. The anticipation of sleep is sweet. You have earned the rest. Your body is tired. Your muscles are drained. But your mind is clear. You walk through the forest. The trees protect you. The mist hides you. You are the phantom of the woods, safe, unseen, silent. Let the image of the dark attic fade. Let the dust settle. You are back in your own bed now. You are safe in your own room. The ceiling above you is solid. The roof is strong. You are hidden from the world. No one is watching you. No one needs you. You can stop observing. You can close your inner eye. The watch is ended. Drift into the darkness. Drift into the safety of the secret place. Rest. Sleep. Chapter 7. The Hearth and the Code. You have washed the river water from your skin. You have hidden the breathing reed back in your belt. The forest is behind you, a wall of black trees guarding the valley. You walk back toward the farmhouse. It sits in the darkness, a simple shape against the mountains. To a stranger, it looks like a peasant's shack, but to you, it is a fortress of secrets. You slide the door open. You step into the genkan, the entryway. You remove your sandals. You step up onto the tatami. The air inside is warm. It is dry. It smells of the irori, the sunken hearth in the center of the room. The fire is burning low. It is not a roaring wood fire that cracks and spits. It is a charcoal fire. Binchotan, high-quality oak charcoal that burns without smoke and without smell. The ninja lives by the rule of no scent. You cannot smell of wood smoke when you enter a castle. You cannot smell of garlic or meat. So the fire is clean. The heat is pure. You sit down on a square cushion by the hearth. You extend your hands to the coals. The warmth seeps into your fingertips, chasing away the chill of the waterfall. It is time for the evening meal. But this is not a feast. It is a discipline. You lift the lid of the iron pot hanging from the adjustable hook above the fire. Inside is a simple gruel. Okayu, rice porridge. It is white. It is soft. It steams gently. You ladle it into a lacquer bowl. The bowl is black on the outside, vermilion red on the inside. It is smooth as glass. It feels light in your hand. You eat. It tastes of rice and water. A little salt. Perhaps a piece of pickled plum, umeboshi, for strength. It is bland. It is easy to digest. It will not weigh you down. You eat slowly, savoring the warmth. You feel the food moving into your stomach, fueling the engine of your body. The room is silent. The paper screens are glowing faintly from the moonlight outside. You are safe in the center of the house. Now, the work of the mind begins. You reach into your tunic. You pull out a small bamboo tube. It was left for you in a hollow tree near the river. A message drop. You open the tube. Pop. You tip it over. Contents spill out onto the low wooden table. It is not a scroll. It is not a letter. It is rice. A handful of rice grains. But they are not white. They are colored. This is goshikimai, the 5-colored rice. It is one of the secret codes of the ninja, a way to send messages that look like spilled food to the uninitiated. Red, blue, yellow, black, purple. Each color represents a code. Each combination represents a word or a number. You arrange the grains. You use a pair of iron chopsticks. You move them with the precision of a jeweler. Click, slide. You line them up. Red, red, black, blue, yellow, purple. You read the message. It is not a declaration of war. It is not a dramatic order. It is a logistics report. The harvest is good. The road to the north is clear. Return to the mountain in 3 days. It is mundane information, encrypted in grain. You feel a sense of satisfaction. You know the language. You are part of the Brotherhood of the Shadow. You memorize the message. Then, you destroy it. You sweep the colored rice into your hand. You throw it into the fire. The grains crackle for a second. Snap, snap. Then they turn to ash. The message is gone. The secret is kept. You wipe the table. Now, you turn your attention to your gear. Tere. Maintenance. If you take care of your tools will take care of you. You take out your tabi socks. They are split-toed, made of heavy indigo cotton. The sole is reinforced with leather or woven cotton for grip. You inspect them. You look for holes. You look for loose threads. You find a small tear in the heel. You take out a sewing kit. A needle made of bone. A spool of thick thread. You thread the needle. You begin to stitch. Push, pull, push, pull. The rhythm of sewing is calming. It focuses the eyes on a tiny point. It creates a small, repetitive loop of action. You watch the thread disappear into the fabric. You watch the hole close. You are repairing the armor of your feet. You finish the stitch. You tie a knot. You bite the thread. You fold the socks. You place them next to your sandals. Everything is in order. The fire in the hearth settles. The coals shift. A soft, rustling sound of ash falling. You lean back. You rest your hands on your knees. You look around the room. It is sparse. There are no trophies. There are no paintings. Just the mats, the fire, the tools. It is a life of minimalism. If you have too many things, you are heavy. If you have too many things, you have something to lose. The ninja has nothing to lose. He carries his wealth in his mind. He carries his skills in his hands. You feel a deep sense of freedom in this empty room. You are unburdened. The rain outside has started again. A gentle, steady patter on the thatch. Tap, tap, tap. It wraps the house in a layer of sound. It isolates you from the rest of the world. You are the only person awake in the valley. Or perhaps you are not. Perhaps there are others, sitting by their own fires, reading their own rice. But you do not need to know. You are content in your solitude. You feel the fatigue of the day catching up with you. The swim in the cold river. The climb up the wall. The waiting in the attic. Your body is asking for rest. It is time to prepare the sleep space. You stand up. You walk to the closet, the oshier. You slide the door open. You pull out the futon. It is heavy, cotton batting encased in fabric. You lay it out on the tatami. You smooth it down. You place the pillow. The bed is an island of white on the yellow floor. You blow out the lamp. Puff. The room goes dark. But the embers of the hearth still glow. A faint red eye in the center of the floor. It watches over you. You lie down. You pull the heavy quilt up. You are safe in the trick house. The floorboards are silent. The hidden doors are closed. The secrets are burned. There is nothing left to decode. There is nothing left to mend. The pattern is complete. You close your eyes. You see the colored grains of rice in your mind. Red, blue, yellow. They drift apart. They scatter. They turn into stars. You are floating in the code of the universe. Quiet, ordered, secret. Rest in the hearth light. Rest in the mystery. Sleep. Chapter 8. The Void and the Vigil. The fire in the sunken hearth has finally surrendered. The last red eye of the charcoal has winked out, buried beneath a blanket of soft grey ash. The warmth of the room has retreated, replaced by the cool, crisp air of the mountain night. You are lying on your futon. The heavy cotton quilt is pulled up to your chin. The buckwheat pillow crunches softly as you turn your head. You are awake. But this is not the wakefulness of insomnia. It is not the wakefulness of worry, where the mind races in circles, chasing problems that cannot be solved in the dark. This is the wakefulness of the zanshin, the remaining mind. It is the hour of the ox, 2 in the morning, the time when the veil between the worlds is thinnest, the time when the world is most silent. You slide your arm out from under the covers. The air touches your skin. It is cold. It wakes you up just enough to move. You sit up. The movement is silent. The straw mat does not creak. You stand. You walk to the edge of the room. You slide open the shoji screen that leads to the veranda. The night air rushes in. It smells of wet cedar, damp earth, and the ozone of the distant storm. It smells of the mountain breathing. You step out onto the engawa, the wooden porch that runs around the outside of the house. You sit down on the edge. You wrap your sleeping robe, your nemaki, tight around you. You tuck your feet up. You are looking out into the garden. But there is nothing to see. The clouds have covered the moon. The valley is a bowl of absolute blackness. To the untrained eye, this darkness is empty. It is frightening. It is the absence of information. But to you, the ninja, this darkness is a friend. It is an element. You are contemplating the fifth and final element of the ninja's philosophy, the Godai. Throughout the day, you have moved through the first four. You started with chi, earth, the stability of the rock, the solidity of the stance, the digging in the mud. You felt the gravity holding you down. You moved to sui, water, the adaptability of the river, the swimming in the cold pool, the flowing around obstacles. You learned to change your shape. You moved to ka, fire, the energy of the forge, the explosion of the flash powder, the heat of the action. You felt the burning will to succeed. You moved to fu, wind, the evasion, the freedom of movement, the invisibility of the air, the breath in the bamboo flute. And now, sitting on the porch in the dead of night, you have reached ku, the void. This is the hardest element to understand, and the most peaceful. It is not nothingness in the sense of death. It is nothingness in the sense of potential. It is the empty cup waiting to be filled. It is the silence before the sound. It is the space between the stars. You look into the dark garden. You cannot see the trees, but you know they are there. You cannot see the stones, but you know they are heavy. You cannot see the stream, but you hear it. Burble. Hush. The void connects them all. You practice the Kuji-in hand seal for the void. You interlace your fingers inside your palms. You touch your thumbs together to form a circle. You hold this circle in your lap. You focus your mind on the space inside the circle of your thumbs. It is empty. You imagine that your mind is that empty space. Thoughts come. I am cold. The floor is hard. Did I lock the gate? You do not fight them. You let them pass through the circle. They enter. They drift. They leave. You do not hold on to them. You remain the empty space. This is the secret of the ninja's mental strength. If you are empty, you cannot be broken. You cannot be hit. There is nothing to hit. You sit there for a long time. You become a part of the night. A deer walks out of the forest. You hear the snap of a twig, crack. You do not turn your head. You do not startle. You sense the animal. You feel its presence. It is a warm body moving through the cold mist. It stops. It sniffs the air. It does not smell you, because you have become part of the wind. It does not see you, because you have become part of the shadow. It grazes for a moment. Crunch. Crunch. Then it moves on. You are a ghost witnessing the world. You feel a profound sense of safety in this invisibility. In the daylight, you are a target. You have a name. You have a rank. You have responsibilities. But here, in the void, you are anonymous. You are stripped of identity. You are just a consciousness floating in the dark. The rain begins to fall again. It is a soft, vertical rain. Hiss. It falls on the roof of the veranda. It drips from the eaves. Plip, plip, plip. The water falls into the drainage stones below. You listen to the drops. Each drop is a second of time, falling from the sky, hitting the earth, vanishing. You are not counting the time. You are flowing with it. You feel the coldness of the wood beneath you. It is keyaki wood, Japanese elm. It is hard and dense. It grounds you. You realize that the house is a ship sailing through the night. The garden is the sea. The darkness is the ocean. You are the passenger on the deck. Your breathing becomes very slow. Inhale. The void fills. Exhale. The void empties. You are practicing ibuki, the refreshing breath. You breathe in through your nose. A long, slow intake. You hold it. You let it circulate. Then you breathe out through your mouth with a soft, audible sigh. Ha. You are expelling the stale air of the day. You are expelling the memories of the mission. You are resetting your system. You feel your heartbeat slowing down. Thump, thump, thump. It matches the rhythm of the dripping water. You are syncing with the environment. You think about the scroll hanging in the tokonoma inside. The character for Nin. Endurance. Tonight, you are enduring the silence. You are enduring the peace. It takes strength to be quiet. It takes strength to do nothing. We are addicted to doing. We want to fix. We want to move. But the ninja knows that the most powerful move is sometimes stillness. The rock does not move, yet it breaks the river. The mountain does not move, yet it stops the wind. You are the rock. You are the mountain. You feel a heaviness in your limbs. The cold air has done its work. It has cooled your blood. It has slowed your metabolism. The sleepiness is returning. It is not the exhaustion of the body anymore. It is the heaviness of the spirit seeking rest. It is time to go back inside. You unfold your legs. You stand up. You turn away from the garden. You look back into the room. It is a black box, a warm, inviting cave. You step across the threshold. You slide the shoji screen shut. Slide. Click. The sound of the rain is muffled again. The world is locked out. You are back in the container. You walk to your futon. It is a white rectangle on the floor, glowing faintly in the darkness. You lie down. The warmth of the blankets is a shock. It is delicious. You burrow down into the cotton. You pull the quilt up over your ears. You curl onto your side. The lion posture. The sleeping position of the Buddha. You feel the weight of the day falling away completely. You have moved through all 5 elements. You started as earth, the walk. You became water, the swim. You became fire, the forge. You became wind, the roof. And now, you have touched the void. The circle is complete. There is nothing left to learn today. There is nothing left to practice. The lesson is finished. You close your eyes. You see the blackness behind your eyelids. It is the same blackness as the garden. It is the void. But it is warm now. It is internal. You drift into it. You are not falling. You are expanding. You are becoming the space between the atoms. You are safe. You are hidden. You are everywhere and nowhere. The village sleeps. The mountain sleeps. The shadow sleeps. Rest in the void. Rest in the nothingness. Sleep. Chapter 9. The mountain keeps the secret. The night has fully retreated. The hour of the ox has passed into the hour of the tiger, and finally into the hour of the rabbit. The dawn has arrived in the mountains of Iga, but it is not a bright, harsh dawn. It is a dawn of grey silk. The sun is hidden behind layers of stratocumulus clouds that have settled into the valleys. The world is soft, diffused, and shadowless. You are lying in the warmth of the futon. You have survived the night watch. You have navigated the void. Now, the story begins to pull back. We are zooming out. We are leaving the specific moment of 1560. We are letting the timeline drift forward. The life of the ninja was a life of shadows, and like a shadow, it fades when the light of history gets too bright. We watch the village of Iga through the lens of time. The era of warring states comes to an end. Peace settles over Japan. The Tokugawa shogunate brings order. The need for the spy, the saboteur, and the silent walker begins to diminish. The ninja returns to the soil. He takes off the indigo hood. He folds it away in the cedar chest. He puts on the straw hat of the farmer. He picks up the hoe instead of the sword. The transition is seamless. Because he was always part of the land, he simply melts back into it. The secret techniques, the gunpowder recipes, the hand seals, the walking steps, are not written down in books for the public. They are whispered from father to son, from grandfather to grandson, becoming quieter and quieter until they are just family secrets, then legends, then myths. Let us walk through the village one last time as it sleeps in the mist of history. The farmhouse where you slept is still there, but it is older now. The thatch on the roof has turned green with moss. It has become part of the forest canopy. Vines of ivy have climbed the wooden pillars, wrapping the architecture in a living embrace. The water wheel by the stream turns slowly. Creak, splash, creak, splash. It is covered in algae. It grinds the rice, not for rations, but for offerings to the ancestors. You walk past the apothecary. The jars are still there on the shelves, but the dust has settled on them. A fine, grey powder of time. The sulfur has crystallized. The ginseng has dried into wood. The ink has solidified in the stone. The chemistry has stopped reacting. It is stable. You walk past the dojo. The floorboards are worn smooth by generations of sliding feet. But the room is empty. The candle is out. The scroll hanging in the alcove, Nin, has faded to the color of tea. The silence here is heavy. It is the silence of a library after the books have been closed. It is the silence of a museum after the visitors have gone. You feel a profound sense of peace in this abandonment. The struggle is over. The mission is cancelled. There is no one left to fight. You walk out to the edge of the valley. You look up at the mountains. Mount Kasagi, Mount Hiei. They stand like walls of granite and pine. They are the true guardians of the secret. They have seen the armies come and go. They have seen the fires burn and die. They have seen the snow fall 1,000,000 times. They do not care. They just endure. You feel the connection between the ninja and the mountain. Yamabushi, one who lies in the mountains. To be a ninja was to be like the mountain, immovable, silent, eternal. You are the mountain now. You lie in your bed. You feel the mattress beneath you. Imagine that the mattress is the bedrock of Iga. It is deep. It goes down miles into the crust of the earth. It holds you up without effort. You feel the heavy quilt over you. Imagine that the quilt is the forest. Thick layers of cedar branches, pine needles, and ferns. It covers you. It hides you. It protects you from the wind. You are buried in the landscape. You think about the concept of legacy. Most people want to be remembered. They want to carve their names in stone. They want statues. They want to be visible. But the ninja wanted to be forgotten. Success was silence. If no one knew you were there, you won. There is a freedom in this anonymity. You do not need to be famous. You do not need to be recognized. You do not need to be someone. You can just be a consciousness floating in the gray light. You let go of your name. You let go of your history. You are just a shape under the blankets. The mist of the valley rises. It covers the rice paddies. It covers the path. It covers the stream. The world turns white. A blank page. You breathe in the mist. It is cool and moist. It soothes your throat. In, out. You listen to the final sounds of the illusion. The distant call of a mountain crow. Caw, caw. The rustle of a deer moving through the bamboo. Click, clack. The drip of the morning dew falling from a leaf. Plip. These sounds are not disturbances. They are woven into the silence. They make the silence deeper. You think about the water spiders, the wooden shoes for walking on water. They are hanging on a peg in the barn, drying, waiting. They don't need to be used tonight. You think about the black powder. It is sleeping in the eggshell. Potential energy that will never be released. It stays calm. You think about the sword. It is resting in the wooden scabbard. The oil protects it. The rust cannot touch it. The edge is sleeping. Everything is at rest. The entire universe of the shinobi has paused. You feel a heaviness in your chest, a warm, golden heaviness. It is the weight of the starvation pill digesting, the energy of the root and the honey. It grounds you. You are full. You are warm. You are safe. The sun tries to break through the clouds, but it cannot. The light remains dim. It is a perpetual twilight. This is the time of the sleeper, the space between the night and the day, the space between the dream and the reality. You inhabit this space. You are the gatekeeper of your own mind. You stand at the door of the inner citadel. You look out at the thoughts trying to enter. I have to do this tomorrow. I forgot to do that. You look at them. You do not fight them. You use the art of evasion. You step aside. You let the thoughts rush past you into the void. They disappear into the fog. You remain standing at the gate, untouched. You close the heavy wooden doors of your mind. Boom. The sound echoes, then silence. You slide the locking bar into place. Thud. You are sealed in. You turn inward. Inside the citadel of your mind, it is a garden. A Zen garden. White gravel. Dark stones. Perfectly raked. Perfectly still. You sit on the veranda of your mind. You look at the rocks. You become the rock. You feel your breath slowing down to the geological time scale. 1 breath every minute. 1 breath every hour. 1 breath every century. You are eroding. The sharp edges of your stress are being smoothed down by the wind. The rough surfaces of your worry are being polished by the rain. You are becoming a round, smooth riverstone, sinking to the bottom of the pool. The water covers you. It is cool and dark. The current flows over you. You do not swim. You do not struggle. You stay on the bottom. The mud settles around you. It tucks you in. The history of the ninja is finished. The scroll is rolled up. The ink is dry. The secret is safe. No one will find you here. You are hidden in the deep time. Rest in the shadow of the mountain. Rest in the silence of the moss. Rest in the void. Sleep.